On today's episode, Rachel and I didn't talk about all of the things that Girl Director does, because that's your business, isn't it?
Lucky Michael's here.
I know. It's fantastic. Thanks, Michael. So tell me quickly about what we didn't talk about.
Well, Girl Director is, we teach entrepreneurs how to grow their business with video. So we teach them the camera confidence, the marketing side, but everything to do with video so that they can really grow their business.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So what you can do is to jump on the internet.
Girldirector.tv.
Girl Director.
Actually, sorry, it's just changed. Girldirector.com. Yeah.
Girldirector.com. Write it down, look it up.
Absolutely.
But stay, because what we do talk about is this amazing documentary about elephants. I reckon we all love elephants. And you're going to hear all about it from Rachel and how she had one of those long shower epiphanies.
Absolutely. And
jumped out of the shower, onto a plane, went to Thailand.
And we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for that documentary.
I know, it's fabulous. Stay to the end, you'll love it. Hello and welcome to Stories from the Red Couch. This is episode 60. Sometimes those words just don't come out right.
60.
I know.
Awesome.
I'm Robin Cook and today I've got Rachel Dunn on the couch with me. Hi Rachel.
Hello, thanks for having me.
How is it to sit in front of the camera when ordinarily you are very firmly placed behind the camera?
You know, I'm really impressed with this setup, and I think I'm fascinated with what you've got going on here. I'm like, oh, I want to get behind there. But, you know, I think just working with so many women now, I've moved through that. You know, it's been really important in my own transformation of being in front of the camera, and it was really hard at first. Yeah, it was really tough. But
So how did you do it?
I think, look, a mixture of things. The first thing was finding something bigger than myself. So really finding a cause that I was really passionate about. So I wasn't focused on myself.
No.
And then realising that when I look back at this in, say, 10 years' time, I'm going to love it. And I find that, do you find that with photographs, that you just go, look back and you're like, oh my God, that looks good?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's the cause that you've found?
What's the what? The
cause?
cause?
The cause. The thing that's bigger than you that you're doing.
Well, two things.
Yeah.
One is helping other women to be able to be on camera themselves.
Great.
And just to embrace that and embrace who they are. And the other one would be the documentary, where I went off and followed a crazy idea to go to Thailand. And
Now, I've seen a short of that. And it looks fantastic. It actually looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love the way that you are bringing in so many different voices into that, because I think that when you hear it from a number of people and a number of perspectives, it enables us to validate our own thoughts around those topics as well.
Absolutely.
So it's about an elephant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's called Through Elephant Eyes, and I think when I went off to Thailand, originally what happened was I went through redundancy when I was working for TV, and that was a bit of a shock to the system going through that, and I lost my way and I really found it quite difficult. But I'd started learning animal communication, and I just started to feel that there was a way of communicating with animals, and my skepticism is still quite strong. But one day I was in the shower and Michael was there, and we're in our little Bondi unit and in Sydney, and I came out, as I do sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, I had this idea. I just saw this picture of an elephant actually taking self-aware photos with its trunk using a camera. And
That's really quite a vision, isn't it?
I know. I couldn't put that image away, and I just thought, okay, well, what if the original idea was, what if I go to Thailand and live and work with an elephant for a couple of years so that they become aware of actually taking photographs themselves?
Wow.
But when I got there and I spoke to people, I didn't want that to be a thing that people started to tap into to teach them, because I realised very quickly the first elephant I actually met had just finished filming a Samsung ad. So they have 20,000 muscles in their trunk. They absolutely could do that. But then I started to realise that there was such a bigger story, and that maybe that image led me on a path to then go and find out more about animal, animal whispering as a subject, which is animal communication through telepathy, and also, just the healing and magic that comes from elephants.
I guess that in having that image of an elephant, being able to take that photo, and then realising that, actually, no, that's not such a good idea, is around a shift between our own ego and just allowing an animal to be themselves and us being the secondary point in that relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it was weird because that image stuck with me, and I have lots of ideas, as I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
And I said to Michael, right, that's it. And I started researching. I had no connection with elephants before, and it was just stuck with me. And I started researching, and then I realised that they paint and they soccer, and there's a lot of things that they're trained to do.
Sure.
But it was just, I wanted to get in there deeper. And that's when I jumped on a plane and thought, you know what, I'm just going to pack my bags, and
good on you.
Went off on my own, and just to follow that, to find the elephant that maybe had sent that message.
Yeah. I think it's incredible to do that. I know that redundancy is such a challenge, and we do lose our way, absolutely. But to take that plunge and do something quite outrageous in some ways is brilliant. So what have you come back with?
Well, we went away, I filmed for about 38 hours, and different interviews, and then I felt like it was also very soon to release this footage. Sometimes you've got to wait for timing with stories for the world to be ready to receive them as well. And I felt that now, with lots of healing and energy healers and people like that out there, that the world is probably more ready now to receive that documentary. So we're actually doing a crowdfunding campaign this year, and we'll be going to India and Africa. Can't do an elephant documentary without going to those two places as well. So, and then we'll finish it by end of next year.
Yeah. So in telling that story, is there a maturity that has to come from you as well in being able to pull that story together? And do you think that the story you would tell now would be different to the story you originally found?
It's a good question. I think when I first set off, I had so many fears around the camera, and every time I'd set up the camera for something, I would just freeze and I'd make this weird face, and I just wasn't myself. Whereas now I've worked through it, and I've taught, and I've really found that now I feel like I can speak about things more freely.
It's an amazing thing, isn't it, when you're in front of a camera, and I've had lots of people sit on the couch, and so many of them feel the same way. That is it like a validation thing, do you think, like, oh, I don't have anything interesting that anyone would want to hear, and that kind of ties you in a knot? Do you think there's some element of that?
No, I think for me it was skepticism, because I still have a really healthy skepticism about what is this idea, and did an elephant communicate, and find out, well, is that right or not, or how do I find out and validate that? And I think that healthy skepticism was what I found is good, but it's
So where's the film at now?
So the film we've got a structure, and we're really just, I guess we're in the investigation process. So it is the hero's journey kind of process that you follow, and I've got a whole bunch of interviews to do, and really to dive into the elephant magic, and also looking for I've got a few animal communicators that are really well known in the documentary. So finding another one that can also translate and have been doing it for a long time. So
that's pretty fascinating. When do you think it's going to come out?
September 2019 is the date. So,
all right.
Yes.
Good to have a date.
Yes, so you've got to have a date or it doesn't happen. So, but so there's still more travel and lots of research, but we really want to uncover the magic that these elephants have, because if you put your head up against an elephant, it heals your headache. They have amazing abilities that we don't even know yet.
Yeah, that's incredible. What do you do otherwise? What sort of things are you... And I'm keen to ask about this thing. Shall I ask about
yes,
that now?
Absolutely.
Tell me.
Yeah.
You can pick it up. I'll have a sip of my champagne.
So it was interesting. So this here is quite old. I bought this at the Guggenheim in New York, and my friend and I were traveling around, and I'm like, must have been a bird or something in a past life, because I love shiny objects. And I just really loved this. It was just like, how cool that you can wear it, you can, and it doesn't break. It's just this amazing
thing,
cool art that you can, have a play.
Yeah.
So it's been with me, and I find it, every time I look at it, I feel creative, and it's just this infinity.
Oh, wow. That's actually astonishing.
Isn't it?
That feels so nice.
And it's probably about, it'd be about 17, 18 years old now.
Wow.
But it was just something I saw, and it was hard putting it in my case to come back, I tell you. But I love it, and it inspires me, and it's on our little coffee table in our lounge room.
It's
so
beautiful.
That when I saw it on your lounge room, I felt instantly at home.
Yeah,
Should carry that with me wherever I go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So what else do you do? I mean, you've made this film. Well, you haven't quite put it together, have you?
No,
but it will be put together.
So it's the first documentary that we've done. But normally, my partner Michael, life partner, and I have a business called Girl Director, and we.
Such a cool name.
Thank you. There's a story behind that too.
I'm sure. Do you want to tell me the story?
Well, the story came from, in the film industry, when I first started 25 years ago, there wasn't very many women directors.
Yes.
And I wanted to hide behind something, so I created a character. And so she was my manga cartoon.
Yes.
And I wanted to just create this amazing character I could hide behind.
Wow.
And then she ended up winning awards, and I put her up for different things as a virtual character, and then I thought, she's actually helped me to build my own confidence, and I had to step outside, and now it empowers so many women to do the same. So
it's astonishing, that drive to achieve something, even when you're not quite crippled, but certainly diminished by whatever fear that is, and yet you still do that. You still do the thing that you really want to do, but you find ways of doing it without. I mean, I find that astonishing. I've done it myself. You've said that you've done it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you go through the redundancy yourself?
Well, I had a contract that finished, and that was in 2015, so 3 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, and definitely that sensation of feeling perfectly okay with it, but actually losing my way in the same way that you did.
Did you lose your identity? Because I kind of felt like my identity was wrapped up in
Absolutely,
that.
completely wrapped up in it.
And just lost myself.
It came after my name, Robin Cook. Da-da-da-da-da. That's who I was. And it's astonishing, and I never would have thought that I would do that. And before I realised it, I did.
Yep.
It validated so much about who I wanted to be by having that title.
And so what did you find helped you through your...
Just taking a break, just resting and saying, it's okay just to stop for a bit, have a break, think about something else, and find out. I used to say to our oldest son, when he was in between jobs, I'd say, have a look at what you spend 75% of your free time doing, and that's what you should make into a job.
Wow,
because
what good advice.
That's what you should be, that's what you do. So that's what I did, and so that's what I do.
Awesome. And that's why you're doing, interviews.
Yeah, because I'm interested in other people's stories. So particularly that point, you went to India.
It was Thailand.
You went to Thailand.
Yep.
Yeah, and so in coming back from there, you were ready to have... Did you have Girl Director before you went to Thailand?
In 2005, I had Girl Director in 2005 as a freelancer. But then when we came back, I realised that there were so many amazing stories out there. And if I could go out there with my camera and be able to do stuff myself,
Yeah.
that's when Michael and I joined forces and went, you know what, we want to teach people how to be able to empower them with the skills, because technology is only getting better.
I know.
So
I know.
it just freaks me out when I think of what things can do now.
And you've just got a new iPhone, haven't
I
you?
know. God, if I can
exciting is
back it up, the lenses excite me more. So
Yeah.
you have to check those out.
So you'll be able to do a whole range of things with that.
I hope so.
What other equipment do you use?
We use the Canons. We've got a lot of big lenses and small lenses, lots of different lenses we put on there. We've got, we've got lots of different cameras and lots of lenses, but I think it's more about what you create with them, because I find I got all caught up in the latest lenses and gadgets, but if you don't feel anything with the content that you make, it just washes past.
Well, it's almost a way of not doing something because you're caught up. Well, I can't. I recall being when I was much younger and I really wanted to be a writer. I had this burning desire to be a writer, but I couldn't possibly be a writer until I had that pen. And that book.
The perfect pen.
I know. And then I got the perfect pen.
The book, then.
I didn't become a writer. So it didn't matter what I got. And so how did you come around, you know, do you come up against that and then move around it?
I think sometimes it's still, you know, actually I'm meant to be doing a video at the moment, and I said to our PM, like, I've got to get my phone working and I want to use that camera, and I thought, actually, I could do it with my digital SLR and this, so it probably
because
is
it's
some
about
of that.
the content.
Yeah, probably is, and I thought, I should take some of my own advice there.
Yeah, so what sort of things do you put in the way of your success?
I definitely the self-doubt at times, but Michael and I work on our mindset daily. You know, that's something we've really developed
How do you do that?
We get up early. We do a lot of writing of our goals every single day, and I think we've done a lot of Bob Proctor training, and I think now we realise you can create anything. And really it's the only thing that's in your way is your mind, and the tools and the awareness and all the things, like the elephant documentary taught me that everything shows up when it's meant to. And if you have an intention and you go and you take that action, even though I didn't have the money and I sold my car to do it and all those things, everything just opened up and it just happened. And
you have to take that action first, don't you?
do.
Yeah. How do you know if you've taken the right action?
I think you always learn, even if you don't take the right action, there's always a reason why you took that action. Even when I've thought, oh my God, what did we do that for, or taken that direction, I look back and go, okay, well, it's taught us that, you know, that lesson may not have come if we hadn't have taken that action. So I think there is a lesson in everything, and it may be hard to see it at that time, but I find you got to follow those crazy ideas, because they're the secret and they're the life force that give you, you know.
I was talking to someone the other day, Tony Powell, who was here for, I think, episode 58, and we were talking about how hard can it be? And I started off saying, well, my first how hard can it be was to do, we started a photo library. What was your first how hard can it be?
How hard could it be? I think because I wanted to be a music video director from the age of 15, and I think it was probably that. It was like, no, how hard can it be being a music clip director, even though I was in a country town with no mentors, but I did it, you know, and it didn't take me that long to get there. So I think, is that what you mean by how hard can it be? Yeah, I
guess so. So what advice would you give to a 15-year-old who wanted to do something as outrageous as being a music
I would say
director?
Never give up, you know, practice your vision. I think the biggest thing for me is that I just knew, and I didn't listen to everyone around me, because your inner compass does guide you. Where I didn't go to uni like everyone else, I wanted to get a job in that industry so I could learn as much as I could, as quickly as I could. And I think having mentors is really important in everything that I've ever done. I've always looked up to someone or just learnt from other people, and you're always growing and learning. And I think just find people you can surround yourself by, those thinkers, you'll get there quicker.
So apart from the documentary coming out in September next year. What are your goals?
Well, that's a good question. Our goals, we've got quite a few goals.
Sure.
Girl director will go to the US next year, so we want to.
That's exciting.
Go over there and do workshops and just keep on inspiring people. Just build more of a global and a lot of brand ambassadors. We want the name to be bigger, so that it's not just us, but we have other women that really embrace what it's about and carry that forward. More films and documentaries around consciousness and just shifting people's thinking. I think Michael and I are really inspired by shifting people's thinking and seeing the world differently through video as well. So just in a bigger scale, taking it as far as we can. Like, why not? We've got one life, you know?
I know. So, life's too short to not do what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So,
thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
I reckon we could just talk for the rest of the night, couldn't
yes,
we?
I don't want to interview you now, so hey, let's swap.
We will. Well, there have been occasions that I've sat on that side of the couch.
Great. Wow.
Yeah, it might not be my best side. I don't know.
At least
Doesn't
we've got
really
our sides.
matter.
We've got
I
our
know.
sides happening.
Who
So that's
really
good.
cares? We're just here and we're doing it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Thanks,
It's awesome.
Rachel.
And Lucy, I
don't know if she's moved.
This is awesome, and I just want to say thank you for having me, because animals obviously have a big special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lucy is just the star of the show.
Yes, and our tick magnet.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tick magnet.
She's a tick magnet,
Ah.
yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
God.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Thanks for staying to the end. Share Rachel's story, and you might find the next girl director out there watching this
Absolutely.
right now. You never know, do you?
Absolutely.
Has your documentary got a name?
Through Elephant Eyes.
Through
So-
Elephant Eyes.
Yes.
Watch out for it, September 2019, and we'll talk to Rachel again when we have some more information around all of that.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
we'll
you.
see you again. Ordinarily, I'll just say now what we talked about, but I'm going to talk about what we didn't talk about.
Okay.
And what did you want me to say exactly? Because I don't even know what came out of my mouth.
A bit about how you feel.
Okay.